From the Michael Slager mini trial to local elections, I sit down one-on-one with Rocky D for a special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. Rocky D.
Here we are again.
Yes, sir.
The fastest retake ever. Ho, 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 and Merry Christmas to all you people who are humbugs that say Happy Holidays. I'll have you know that holidays means holy days.
Really?
So anytime one of these smart-mouth left-wingers, you know, somebody that might go to the College of Charleston, they say, oh, it's holidays, because it encompasses everything. Holidays comes from the word holy days. That's what it comes from. So when someone says, Happy Holidays, say, hey, Merry Christmas to you too. Yes, I am holy. As a matter of fact, I'm full of holes. Some people would like to put me full of holes. Hi, folks. Rocky D here. You can hear my show at rockyd.com, ROCKYD.com. And the reason we don't have the big sign behind us here, we're at Larry Kabrowski's law office. This is where the school board met its death. Right there. Right here. Now, yeah, the reason we don't have the sign is that we got booted out of the College of Charleston. Why? Because of me. I walked in there, and I got the stink eye from the time I walked in my Santa Bling Bling suit. By the way, I got my Christmas tie on. I wore it just for you. See?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's got the Grateful Dead on there. Living on Reds, vitamin C, and cocaine. Yeah.
Gosh.
Welcome to Charleston. And and then they come in. You'll see it. In fact, if he doesn't air the interview, I'll put it up on rockyd.com. They kept interrupting us. Shh, you have to be quiet. Because they're students studying. It's the College of Charleston. What are you going to get a degree in? English, education, BB stacking, foreign music. Oh yeah, we don't want to interrupt the snowflake students in there so they can get their degrees and go on to work at Burger King.
Well, let me turn to the...
He's trying to be so nice.
Yeah.
You are, because you are this is truly a nice guy. Channel 2, where are you? Channel 5, shame on you. Keep hiring bimbos and dimbos from 8x10 black and whites and by 30-second reels where they go, is like my makeup okay and stuff? Oh my goodness, I hope I don't live in Horry County. Yeah, okay. Hire this guy. He's right here. Look how nice he is. He's even being nice to me. Almost nobody ever is.
Well, let me turn to some serious news.
All right.
Just a block away, there's the second part day of the Michael Slager mini trial, that is. Obviously, a lot of the attorneys as well as the federal authorities are trying to figure out whether this was manslaughter or murder on Michael Slager's part. In your mind, what does your mind tell you about this? Is it murder or manslaughter?
You got two sides here. I don't think he's going to go away for a long time. The only sentence he's going to get is going to be based on political correctness, and I'll tell you what's going on. Just like when you see the OJ trial and you saw all the trials out west, this recent one you saw where the illegal alien got away with murdering one of our citizens. Okay? You cannot convict a non-white person of anything in California, and it's getting that way across the country. What we have here is a white cop, as everybody knows the story. White cop shoots black citizen guy on the street. Okay, if it was the other way around, would the stink be so big? Maybe, probably not. I don't even know. But you have a problem here. Okay, the prosecution with Scarlett and her friends are going to try to show that Michael Slager is a bad cop, bad guy, made bad decisions. And he certainly made one bad decision. The defense is going to try to show that Michael Slager is a good guy. The trial today, as we sit here doing this in the office of Larry Kabrowski. I said that just to bother the school board. We're in Larry Kabrowski. Every time you say the word Larry Kabrowski, school board people choke up. They go, it's the defense's job to show that he's a good guy. This trial is not about Walter Scott. It's not. This trial is about Slager. Walter Scott's a sidebar. Never mind that he ran from the cops. Never mind that Walter started this whole thing. I mean, let's face it. If you throw the first punch in a fight and you get your arse kicked, who should you be looking at as a fault for this? Okay? Now, I'm not saying a man should be dead. I certainly wouldn't have pulled the trigger and shot him, even if he grabbed my taser. If he was more than 5 feet away, I don't think I'd have pulled the trigger. But I'm saying that sitting here with you, where we're safe, with Larry Kabrowski's law office. And the fact is, we have Walter Scott pulled over by a cop. It's nothing to be put in cuffs and taken downtown for a couple hours. You get out, you're fine. I mean, he didn't want to do it because he owed child support money, I guess it was. That's not a major crime. That's not even a federal offense. And he went on the run. Running from the cops after you're stopped, Now you're into the violent offenders mode. Okay, you're into that thing. He grabbed Michael Slager's taser, I think they call it, the taser, the electroshock thingy. And electroshock thingy, that's the actual scientific name for it. He grabbed his taser, and that's what they claim. And apparently, that's when here's what you don't do. You don't argue or physically wrestle with a cop when you're in a situation, because whatever you're doing, whatever bad thing you're doing, if the cops show up, bar fight, traffic stop,
Right.
fist fight in the street over a traffic stop, okay, over a traffic accident, when the cops show up, the goofiness and party is over. Two things you do when you stop by a cop. Okay, give them your information. First thing you do is show them your hands. They want to know where your hands are. Roll the windows down so you can see everything. Okay? They're going to look in your back seat. How many times has cops been shot on traffic stops? You got to understand Michael Slager's nervousness about this thing, although he wasn't a rookie, from what I know. So, would I have pulled the trigger in his shoes? I don't think so. But like I said, we're sitting here in a nice office. We don't have to worry about that tragic situation happening, and you have to think like that. I get it. But if somebody pulled a taser out on you, you might shoot him. You might wrestle him down. Walter Scott was no small guy. He wasn't itty bitty. He wasn't a skinny guy. He also, I don't think, was a particular. As we look at it now, was he a danger to the public? Hey, guy was kind of a bum, Is Michael Slager a danger to the public? I don't think so. He doesn't have any record that I know of. And what we're doing today is Andy Savage is Slager's lawyer. Now, when Savage shows up, stuff gets serious. Stuff get real. He's the kind of guy. When you're with him at a party or something, he's looking all around. He's looking for the next thing, He's talking to you and looking away from you. That's the way he does it. But he's a nice guy, and he knows what he's doing. What they're doing today in the defense of Michael Slager is they'll be looking to reduce the sentence. They know he's going. It's obvious. He shot the guy while the guy was running away. The man died. Okay? You're in trouble right away. Should he have shot? Almost all cops say no. But almost all cops weren't standing in that position at that day. And this kid that showed up and filmed the whole thing, his name was Franklin, right?
No. Faden Santana.
Santana. Faden, not Franklin?
No, sir. Faden Santana.
Faden. We'll call him Santana, because that I can remember. This guy has been a smart mouth in court. And that's not helping the Walter Scott case. To be a smart mouth in court. Santana saying, "Oh, it was a fight. It was just that you don't know what it was." And not only that, when he got his camera up, there are pictures that are still shots of what you see that happened before, the guy had his camera steadied and going. And but that's the way we are these days, folks. Everybody's got one of these on. Everybody's got one, right? So anywhere you go, you're being filmed. Anywhere you go, there's a microphone or a camera somewhere. What they're doing today in the Slager trial is to reduce his sentence. I suspect he'll get 9 years. And I suspect he'll get out early. Not exactly like he's a danger to his neighbors. And when he does get out, he'll disappear. He's not going to be a police officer anywhere, which is obviously what he wanted to do. He's going to have to find something else to do, and he'll have a manslaughter charge on his back wherever he goes.
Let me move from crime to politics.
No, same thing.
As you mentioned, well, as I talked to you actually on that Saturday afternoon, I did an interview with Joe Cunningham, who's running for Congress.
Yeah.
He's on the Democratic side and will challenge Mark Sanford next fall.
Yeah.
But obviously, you also have Katie Arrington, who's going to be challenging him for the primary. And when we talked on Saturday afternoon, we basically said, hey, Sanford has never lost a race.
Nope. He's never lost. Every time he wins, every time he runs, he wins. When he ran for governor, I have a great audio tape of I made him noticeably give me the credit for him winning.
Okay.
See? I said, you interviewed on my show, therefore you won, see? There's a correlation, draw the line. And he laughed. And here's Mark Sanford's laugh. You ready? I know how you laugh. You're very quiet because he's so polite. Me, I'm like, I'm goofy. Here's how Sanford laughs. You ready? Remember I said that. No laughing matter. Sanford doesn't lose. He doesn't lose his elections. And the people that don't win these days get very angry. To the religious right, they don't forgive him for his dalliances on the Appalachian Trail or in Venezuela or Argentina, wherever he went. And to the left, he's too far right. So you've got people that don't like him on the fringes. Meanwhile, the entire middle votes for him. If you've ever met him, and you have,
Oh, yeah.
And he lives right in this neighborhood, folks. He had a place here. Now he lives in Mount Plastic, right? That's right. That's what I said. Mount Plastic. They, by the way, there's women in Mount Plastic right now, Mount Pleasant, that are watching this. They're going, "Is that Diamond real? Is he married?" He lives in Mount Pleasant, and the fact is he's so nice to everybody. Everybody likes him. I voted for him the first time, and I told him this because he was the chintziest, cheapest, cheesiest candidate. Not cheesiest, cheapest, skinflint candidate I could vote for. He's the guy that I knew that could. I told him, "I will vote for you if you can show me that you can squeeze a nickel till Jefferson bleeds." Okay? That's what I want. I want a guy to go up there and say, "It's not my money, I'm not spending it." And when you interview Mark Sanford, notice how many times he says the word pocketbook. Because he's talking about what's in people's pockets. Your wallet is your pocketbook. Your purse is your pocketbook. Your pockets are your pocketbook. He talks money all the time. Cunningham, I think I've got a great idea of his campaign video. Just show a snowball melting in hell. No chance in hell Cunningham's going to win. No chance. I don't care if he wins a primary or whatever. The other lady, what's her name? Atkinson?
No, Katie Arrington.
Arrington. I've talked to her.
State representative.
She's probably the biggest challenger Mark Sanford's ever had. And I don't think she's going to come in. She's going to come in 5 points under. Remember I said that? 5 points under. Because and they're going to constantly pick on Sanford's personal foibles. And people don't like that. You remember the Bill Clinton trial about Monica Lewinsky and all that? The average American really didn't care that Clinton was out getting action in the hallway. I have a funnier way to put it than that. We didn't care. One look at Hillary Clinton and you could understand his plight. Right there. Okay? Clinton was out getting some strange, and you can see that's all through Hollywood and politics. Now we're in problems with that right now. Everybody's zooming everybody else. I worked at NBC in Chicago, and I'm here to tell you that everybody at NBC was doing everybody else. I was a witness. Am I going to name names? No. It was 30 years ago. I don't care. They make their own lives up. Nobody forced anybody to do anything, not that I know of. Nobody had a thing under the desk where they pushed a button like Matt Lauer. And you got to wonder, Matt Lauer's button under his desk that locked the door. You've heard of that, right?
Well, to be fair, I know NBC has that for all their high-profile anchors.
Yeah, okay, you know what? Who installs those things? It sure isn't the anchor. And if I had one, you bet I'd use it. I'd make it do something else. I'd make it throw confetti or something. I don't know. But nobody cared about Bill Clinton and his affairs. Nobody really cared about Mark Sanford and his affairs. What they cared about was the lying about it. Bill Clinton was not impeached for having an affair. Bill Clinton was not impeached because of Monica Lewinsky. Bill Clinton was impeached because he lied to a grand jury. And if you did that, you'd be in jail right now. Yes, there are people in jail, in prison, for lying to a grand jury. Mark Sanford, on the other hand, did not lie. At first he did. He told his wife a big lie. He told everybody else. He didn't want to say what he was doing because he's going out to see his girlfriend. And I met her. Very nice. You know, I have pictures taken with her. She has to carry a bodyguard with her now. Yeah, she did at the time. I walked in and this big, hunk of Italian meat got in the middle of us. And I said, "I just want to take a picture." And I said, "Okay with you?" And she said, "Yeah." But Mark Sanford afterwards admitted it right up front. We all knew there were marriage problems going on. All you got to do is meet Jenny Sanford and you understand that. They didn't get along. I've seen them argue. I've seen her, try to take him to task in front of people one time. I didn't like it. You don't do that in public, especially if your guy's a public official. I'm not condemning anybody here. But when Mark Sanford came on my show, I was standing. I always stand on him on air. I don't sit like I am now. And he was sitting across from me like where you are right now. And I looked at him. The first question, besides I said, "This is Mark Sanford. How you doing today?" So here's my first question. "What the hell were you thinking, champ? What were you thinking?" Okay? And he went into a big speech about, how he failed himself and everything else. And he seemed genuinely upset about the whole thing. I don't think he got upset about being caught. I think Mark Sanford was upset about being in the situation altogether in the first place. I mean, I didn't feel bad for Jenny because do you know who she is, don't you? You know who her grandfather was? You don't, do you? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell everybody else. Jenny Sanford is from a really, really wealthy family. Her grandfather invented the skill saw. Did you ever use the skill saw? The first electric saw ever made? That's her grandfather. Jenny Sanford, God bless you, lady. And she's talked to me on my show about bicycles. loves bicycles, likes to bike ride. She's healthy and happy, and I think she's good looking. I don't feel sorry for her because no matter what happens, she's got that giant gold brick to fall back on. I don't feel bad for Mark because he's wealthy too, but not as wealthy as Jenny. Hardly any people are, but they can live without each other. I felt bad for the four boys. I really did, because all of a sudden I'm getting Christmas cards from the two of these people at the radio station,
right,
and the father or the mother's missing. You know, you're doing a Christmas card with your four boys, and the mom's not there, and she's alive. I looked at that card and I thought, oh. I put it up on the wall with all the other ones, you know. I mean, Joe Wilson sent me a Christmas card. Right. It's got his wife in the picture and his son, too.
Right,
we all know who his son is.
Right.
So I think that Sanford is going to win. I think he's going to win by 5 at least. I even think that's cutting it close. As far as District 1 congressman, I mean, which he is, it takes all the downtown area, which is largely Democrat. But I don't even know if they like Cunningham very much. I don't know much about him, but I know that if you're a Democrat running against Mark Sanford's seat, the odds are about 4-1 that you're going to win against you.
Let me ask you this, because on both sides, they're basically saying, hey, Sanford is a career politician.
Yep.
Do the voters care that he's a career politician in your mind?
It's a negative these days, but here's what it comes to throw the bums out in career politicians. Here it is. All those people out there, vote everyone down. Oh, except my congressman, except my state representative, except my senator. I want my people to stay, but everybody else have to go. That's what people do. Do people like Mark Sanford as their state representative here in District 1? And we are in District 1 right now as we speak, and we're sitting right in it. I'm in District 101. I'm in West Ashley. Mark Sanford is my state representative. Is he doing a good job? Yeah. He's done a couple of kooky things that are only personal. Like one time he showed up to vote in a tracksuit. Remember that? Okay, so he has a tracksuit on. For a week, people talked about his tracksuit, and I'm thinking to myself, so? Look at me right now. I mean, what you wear doesn't mean anything. I mean, John Conyers doesn't even put his pants on.
And as a matter of fact,
he's going to resign today.
Well, actually, he's going to announce his retirement. He's now seeking re-election. When you hear that, what do you say? What do
I say? Immediately I call my dad up, who's 93 and retired, World War II veteran. I said, Dad, always wear your pants. That's what I say. The culture of the Bill Clinton, they're blaming it on him, but I think Bill Clinton's just a result, not the cause of the culture. I get anything I want, do me, I want to do what I want to do me for money. Do you think that Harvey Weinstein and Conyers and Al Franken, do you think they invented the casting couch? No. It was always there. There have always been young men and young women who will suffer, let's put it this way. They will suffer a half hour of indignities once a week or more, or just one time, so that so they can further their career. Having sex to further your career is nothing new. And I worked at NBC, and like I told you, I worked there for 8 years. Everyone was doing everybody. I'm going to visit over Christmas some people I know in Chicago that met at NBC, had the tete-a-tete and NBC in the offices, and they got married. And they have children who are all grown up at this point, because this was 30 years ago. These two got married. They're nice people. Yeah, they met at NBC and they got married. And they're not the only ones. Everybody in media, all these young people in media, I'm going to tell you, media is staffed with hoes and horn dogs. It really is. And I'm evidence of that. When I was I have evidence of that. I've never actually forced myself or pushed myself on anyone. Me, I'm the kind of guy, when I'm on the air or I'm at a TV station, the faster I can do my job and get out of there. I'm not one of these people that lives in the station because I got nothing else to do. I got plenty to do. I spent 40 years as a hockey referee. Right? I did not hang around a station in the middle of the night. And sometimes I came after the games and I smelled like a goat. I wouldn't even step in the NBC shower. That's right. We had one.
You talk about media. Obviously, the big issue right now is the video of Nancy Mace having drinks prior to her campaign announcement. And now the Charleston County Democratic Party just posted last week on their Twitter page, hey, this is the type of representative you might have. When you think of House
She won.
She won the Republican primary.
Oh, she'll win.
The special election?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think. Maybe. I talked to Nancy Mace, tried to get her to buy ads on my show, and she basically gave me the idea that she didn't really need them. And I said, okay, fine. And then she won, which is really odd because if you don't advertise on a Rocky D show, you don't win. And she did. She didn't really advertise anywhere that I could see. They use Facebook and Twitter. They use social media. Right. That's a powerful tool these days. Yeah. This is why radio stations are dying. They can't compete with all the monkeys that are out there, screaming and yelling on the internet. You can't compete with that. How are you going to do it? Many of these people are working for free. And the stations, TV and radio, can't compete with that. But as far as the video, all I have to say is one thing. First of all, up in front, Nancy Mace, I want to party with you, girlie.
Jesus.
But I'm not going to. Did you just say Jesus? You did. He said Jesus. Is he coming? Because I'm in trouble. If Jesus comes, I want you to know him. You're my friend. Maybe they'll give me some points. The other thing I want to tell Nancy Mace is that's a really stupid way to catch herpes. Okay, I know what pass the shot is. They do this in fraternities. You spit your alcohol into someone else's mouth till it finally gets down their line and it tastes like spit, I guess. And when you smooch somebody or make out or have a time, you're passing DNA around. But at a party, I have never been so wasted or so stupid and young that I took food out of someone else's mouth and put it in mine. Okay? I was once supposed to do a comedy thing where I was supposed to take gum out of some guy's mouth and put it in mine. You've seen that done for comedy on TV? Right. I'm not doing it. You stick something in your mouth, I don't know where your mouth has been. And as far as Nancy Mace goes, she can be a cantankerous little soul, let me tell you. She can be a forceful person. Military. She, for those who don't know, is the first woman to graduate out of the Citadel. Wrote that book in the company of men. And just imagine all the crap she took. Being the first lady there. I mean, it ramps up a step. So maybe she has her attitude from that. But will she be a good representative to take the other guy's place? I don't know. I liked Mark Smith. But like I told Mark, you're too nice. Start getting mean. This is not a nice guy world in politics anymore. But both Nancy and Mark both ran for the Republican side. I don't know who's going to run eventually against Nancy.
Oh, Cindy Boatwright. She's a Democrat.
Cindy Boatwright's going to run? Not going to happen. Hey, Cindy, buy ads on my show. You'll win. And that's RockyD.com. It's not a nice guy political world anymore. Al Franken, you know why you're in trouble, Al Franken? Because you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, and darn it, people don't like you. People are waiting for anyone to screw up in any small sense, and they attack that. I'm a little tired of the personal attacks. It's like I told Mark when he came in my studio after this whole thing. I said, all right, you did wrong. You take care of your family problems on my own. Not to be insensitive to you, Mark, but, and I'll say it to you again, Mark, because I know you're watching this, not to be insensitive to you, because I care about you as an individual, but I don't care about your social life. I don't care about your sex life. I don't care about your personal life really at all as long as you're happy. I'm happy if you're happy doing what you're doing. Here's the thing. Can you separate your personal life from your professional life enough to finish out your term as governor? Can you? Yes or no? Because if the answer is no, then you got to go. If the answer is yes, finish it and go because he didn't have a third term anyway. Now what does he do? Goes right back into politics. And what does he do? He wins again. No, Sanford is not it. Hey, someone from Kabrowski's office want to pick up that line? Go.
People do like Harry Griffin in the city of Charleston District.
They definitely do. I did. I like him. I'm wild about Harry.
Why Harry Griffin? Why now in your mind?
In that, I don't live in District 10. I live in District 2. I am just a block or two away from District 10. I helped out over there. Dean Regal got in trouble, and I really like Dean. He's been friends with me for 17 years. Right. I have sat on Uncle Larry's back porch, Larry Shirley's back porch, right, in this big house, where every Sunday night we would solve all the world's problems. When we woke up on a hangover on Monday morning, all the problems were still there. And Dean used to be in that group. We used to hang out all together. Dean, I don't know where he got the idea that moving out of District 10 and then lying about it was a good idea. On the 4th of July, I was in a parade with him, and I still like Dean. I still like him. He's still a friend of mine. Okay. I told him, I said, why don't you just run in Somerville and back one of the other candidates? Why don't you do that? Because you live in Somerville. And he says, well, I got a rented house. I said, look, I ride my bike around here all the time. through Shadow Moss. That house you rented is owned by a family from Canada, and they're not here in the summertime. In the wintertime, they come and live here. I know who they are. I don't know their names, but I know them enough to wave to them when I see them on a bicycle, you know. And I said, you're not fooling anybody by that. And I said, command, it's going to blow up in your face. Dean got 17% of the vote, which I think is the lowest total of any incumbent that ever ran at City Hall. I think. I'm not sure. I'm not trying to condemn the guy or say anything bad about him.
Right.
Because I think Dean, he could run for office in Somerville, where he and his wife moved to be near their son. His wife is ill. We all know that. I know Deb very well. Right. And they're up there. And he could win in Somerville. And right now, Somerville, you could use Dean's help. I mean, he's a doer. Dean was a good councilman. He answered phone calls. He called me back when I called him, and not just because I'm a media guy. It's because I'm Rocky and he knows me. Okay? My gal pal, she who will be listened to, if you think Nancy Mason's mean, she who will be listened to, lives in District 10. And whenever she called Dean or had a problem, he called back. I've never heard a constituent problem with Dean Regal. He lost. Now you had the runoff between Nancy, what's her name?
Summer Massey.
Summer Massey and Harry Griffin. Well, most people in District 10 that I knew, I asked them about it. And they said, we don't care which one wins. And when you got that, it's a toss-up right away. Okay? Because people are saying, we don't care. They're both good. They're both good candidates. Both of them would be good city council people. Harry won. The youngest person maybe to win city council in Charleston, maybe in all of history. Right. I can't find a younger one. I can go back to the early part of the century and find a young man. Don't know if he was, what is Harry, 22? Yes. Is he shaving yet? Did he buy a drink? Harry's a great guy. Went to the Citadel like Nancy Mace. He went there. And Summer, nice person too.
Right.
But they voted for Harry, and that's that. And Harry and Summer do not dislike each other. I don't think Summer made any mistakes in her campaign. I don't think Harry made any mistakes in his campaign. Harry came from behind, being the kid in the race. And you know what you don't want to do? You don't want to be the youngest person in a race against an older, experienced person. But once Dean got bounced out of the race, Summer Massey was not big-time experienced either. And she's pretty young, too. She's in her 30s, I believe.
She's on the age with me, I believe. 33.
She's 33? Okay. At least I got that right, see? Gee, Summer, you look like you're in your 20s. That's what you do to women.
Let me move on. Someone who else came from behind was William Dudley Gregory in the city of Charleston, District 6.
Surprising.
What is the future of that district in your mind?
It's turning, and people don't want to say this out loud, because I'll say it.
Okay.
It's turning from black to white. Okay, that district has a lot of gentrification stuff in it, and people get a bad taste in their mouth when they hear the word gentrification. They can't say it. It's not always a bad thing. Gentrification can often mean cleaning it up. And cleaning it up doesn't mean throwing the bums out based on their color of their skin. It means that you can't live in an area where the land is super expensive, like where we are right now in downtown Charleston. I don't think you can buy a plot of land here for under $2 million. Where are you going to buy a plot of land in downtown to begin with? I mean, there's none left. There's no land. It's like my grandfather once, a wise man once told me, buy land. God's not making any more. Okay, buy it when you see it. And that area, District 6, City Council, has a lot of voters in there who voted for the opposition, largely because our new mayor, Tecklenburg, was supporting his challenger. Well, that's kind of a poke in the eye to John Tecklenburg, who I saw the other day, and I posted it up on the internet. Sidebar, which I do a lot. I'm in the airport, and for those of you who think that politicians and elected officials especially, even the mayor, get special privilege in the city of Charleston or in the state of South Carolina, John Tecklenburg, our mayor, was getting frisked and had his stuff rifled through by the TSA. He had to take his shoes off. They wanded him up and down. I watched it happen. I even took a picture. Wow. And he came up and shook hands with me, and he rolled his eyes and said, "You too?" He said, "How'd you get through?" I said, "I got the pre-check thing. I paid the $80.
Wow.
You know? And so our mayor, who you think may could pull strings, nope. He had his stuff checked, shoes, and I'm thinking, John Tecklenburg sure looks like a dangerous character, doesn't he? Maybe the bomb's in his shoe. No. You know, maybe all that crack cocaine's in his pack. No. You know, but when it comes, he backed the challenger.
Right, a couple of them.
Right, and I don't know why he didn't want Dudley Gregory there, the dud man. the William guy, who's been on my show. I don't know why he didn't want him there, why he wanted him replaced, other than to say that Gregory does not always vote with the mayor. And what we're seeing now with this new mayor, people aren't afraid of him, okay? And he's too mild-mannered. He's not like Joe. He's not Mayor Joe.
Right.
Mayor Joe was like Mayor Daley in Chicago. People have asked me many times on my show, well, why did you like Mayor Joe? He's a Democrat, he's a liberal. I said, you know what? It reminds me of home. I saw Mayor Daley do his thing when I was a kid growing up in Chicago. I may not agree with Mayor Joe, but I understand him perfectly. Okay, I understand exactly what he's doing. And City Hall in Chicago is so big that each alderman, which is a city councilman in Chicago, has its own staff behind him. It looks like the United Nations.
Wow.
And anytime Mayor Daley was there, he would do this. And your microphone would get cut off. You don't like what you're saying? Nobody can hear you say it. And Mayor Joe was kind of like that. He would nod his head quietly and agree with everything you had to say. And as soon as you left the room, he's like, screw you. I'm Mayor Joe. We're doing it this way. And I think Mayor Joe did a good job, and I have no complaints about Mayor Joe whatsoever. I don't like the Confederate flag fear he had, although I understand it. You get it? I mean, I understand what he's about, but I didn't agree with it. With Mayor Tecklenburg, I can't figure out how he thinks that trying to please everyone is the way to get along. It isn't. It's the way you lose everybody. And so my only advice to Mayor Tech would be start saying no to people. Have the guts to say, no, we're not doing that. The bicycle people and their bridge they want to build. Cool. Great idea. Wish we had one. I love my bike. Y'all see me on my bike. The PPOS. The purple piece of... You know what I mean? Because I put it together with spare parts. No one will steal it. The seat will come off while you're riding it. I mean, it's. I fixed it up a little bit. I don't think the bridge is a good... I like the idea of having the bicycle bridge. But, as Councilman Kathleen Wilson said, who didn't win, surprisingly, it's just undoable. The numbers don't add up. And Mayor Tecklenburg doesn't say he waffles on it. I would just look the bicycle people in the eye and say, love the idea, but the answer is no. No. Hey, Mayor Tech, start saying no, except to me.
Now, obviously, he backed a couple of candidates, I guess quality life candidates. And I'm wondering this, was that political suicide on his behalf?
Depends on who you are. I mean, if you're a businessman who wants to develop in the city, yeah, they don't like it. But I live in West Ashtray. That's what we call it, folks. I live in West Ashley, and there's so much building going on. Like I told you, in the interview that isn't going to be shown except on my show, it took me, I'm 8 miles from here. It took me 40 minutes to get here. 40 minutes to go 8 miles. Okay? 40 minutes. My girlfriend goes from Bees Ferry to Daniel Island every day. 1 hour up and back. You know, love all you people from Ohio. Buckeyes, mean it. Love you, mean it. Go back home. I mean, you know, don't move here. The developers who are building these massive amounts of developments, and I'll tell you about the one near me in a minute, out in West Ashley in District 2, which is now Kevin Shealy's district. Right. He defeated Rodney Williams, and that was not a surprise. But hello, the building that's going on is being done by a major amount of people. The majority of people doing that don't live here. They don't live here. I used to do on a walking trail in West Ashley off of Glen McConnell Parkway. Yes, folks, there were trails behind those woods. Now it's all houses. They tore down a catch swamp. They tore down a swamp area by me. Where's the water going to go? And they're building houses. I noticed that all the houses they're building behind this tree line that used to be a tree line, now it's all houses. All the houses they're building are 10 to 12 feet in the air. You know why? Because they know they're building in a flood zone. They're willing to flood us out to build their houses. And that's what's going on in West Ashley building right now. Downtown, I don't know. Livability, yeah, but there's some people who abuse the livability. If you don't like cruise ships downtown, don't live in a port city. For you anti-cruise people, this was a port before it was in the United States. Charlestown was always a port. That's why it's here. These boats come in a few days a week, don't bother, and the carriages.
Right.
You don't like carriages, you are a commie. That's that. If you don't like carriages, you're a communist. And if you're stupid enough to wear a dinosaur suit and stand in front of Two 1,800-pound animals. You are an idiot who's going to die in your dinosaur suit. And that lady, her name is Nicole Faniff, she's going to end up getting charged. They ought to push for a crime because the man who was driving that cart sacrificed himself for his tourist passengers. Do you know he broke his leg? The cart ran over his leg. There was no reason for that to happen. Horses, naturally, that's why they wear blinders, okay? They have a natural, horses are prey animals, they're not predators. Their first instinct is to stop and flee. Horses are fast. They're not fast because we want to race them. They're fast because God made them to run. And they will run. They'll take off. Even the big, brew horses, right. the big pole horses, they'll run if they need to. And they're good at running. And they're very fast. And they have their eyes on the sides of their head, which is why they wear the blinders. And predators have their eyes in the front, like cats, wolves, dogs. You can see their eyes are in front of their head. They're predators. Us, we have eyes in our front, right? We're meat eaters. Although we'll eat anything. I'll eat anything. I'm hungry right now. Somebody brings in lunch, we're eating. Whenever you put a predator sign or something in front of a prey, it will stop and flee back. So these horses are well trained by the Palmetto Carriage Company. They're well trained. When they say, "Oh no, the horse fell down," and he sat down. He did what he was trained to do. He stopped and waited for his owner, for his trainer, to come over and take care of business. This gal should be charged with a crime. And I'm going to tell you right now, all of these are connected with the Charleston Animal Society. And you can not admit it all you want, ladies and gentlemen, but Joe, who took over the Charleston Animal Society, turning the Charleston Animal Society into an activist organization is not what 90% of your contributors want. Did you know the Charleston Animal Society guy gets $130,000 plus per year as a salary? That's not charity, folks. That's a guy taking money from you. The Charleston Animal Society is supposed to be involved in saving the lives of dogs and cats. We understand this. My gal, she who will be listened to with the 1-hour ride to work, she adopted a sick cat. The luckiest cat on the planet. Because now it's happy at home and it's getting fat. And it's a happy little cat. She adopted a sick cat that couldn't play with others because it had some kind of disease. She adopted it out of the shelter. And they offered her free food for life. She says, "No, I'll buy my own food. We'll bring stuff to you." And we do. She stopped doing that. Why? Because the Charleston Animal Society is linked in, even though they don't admit it, they're linked in with this animal rights group that's scaring the carriages down there. Carriage riders now, operators, now the tour guides are going to be wearing body cameras. I think it's right. And for you fat blonde lady from New York, whoever you are, if you're lucky I'm not a tour guide. If I was on a tour, if I was running it, that's why they don't hire me. I'd run them over. I would jump, I would have a paintball gun. I'd have a taser. And I would start tasing those stupid people. Because when you freak out the horses or the mules, you're endangering the people on the cart behind. These mules and horses are not suffering. They're not abused. They don't fall over from heat exhaustion. They don't die. How many dead horses you seen in the street here? How about zero? It hasn't happened that I know of. When Big John the horse fell down? Right. Yeah. How many times you fall down in your life? I fell down a stairway. That's why I can't move my left arm. Ooh. Yeah. I'm over 50 years old, and I fell running up a stairway. Big John, you go watch horses in the wild. They fall down. It happens. They lose their footing. Big John was not abused. He's still out there working as far as I know. I can't remember the name of the two horses that were involved with the dinosaur exhibition, but they're still working. They're on the street today. Right. They're happy. They're healthy. I took undercover, and Tommy Doyle from Carriage Works knows this. I brought in an equine person, didn't tell anybody. I said, just go look at the animals. No, let's go out on the street and find one. Look at the animals. Walk right up to them when they're standing there. The tour guide will not let you touch the animals most of the time, because that freaks them out. But look at them. And her conclusion, if anything, these animals were too healthy and happy. They were too fat. They get better health care than you do. There's nothing wrong with the carriages downtown. In the Charleston Animal Society, if you don't want to lose your funding, back away from the animal rights activist stuff. Because they're involved with you. It's time to start telling them no. They need to take out Joe and get him do a job as an activist, Joe. Go work for Soros. And they need to put Kay. You know Kay, right?
Kay Hyman?
They need to put her in charge of that. Dogs and cats. That's why people like the Charleston Animal Society. That's what we count on you to do, Charleston Animal Society. If I want a dog, and I really do, I just don't have time to take care of one. If I was going to get a dog, I know where I'd get it. The Charleston Animal Society. My gal got a cat, she knew right where to go. Charleston Animal Society. And she adopted the most sickly little forlorn cat you ever saw. Mm-hmm. And now it's the happiest, doesn't know it because it's a cat. It's the luckiest cat ever lived. Of course, it's a cat. You know, there's cats are stupid. Cats are stupid. Dogs are smart. That's right, I said that. And, well, you know what a cat is. Every time it blinks, it's a new day. You know, your cat can be like, oh, Quintin's home. Who are you again?
No.
Oh, did we eat yet? Doink. What day is it? You know, dogs understand words and commands. Cats don't. They understand. You have a cat?
No.
You have a dog?
No.
All right. Well, if you get one, go to the Charles Animal Society, and you'll have quite your pick. And you know, that's it. I did that show many times. Yes, dogs are smarter than cats. Period.
To be continued. Rocky D, thank you for this extensive interview. I really appreciate this.
Sure. And Kevin Shealy, he's my city councilman now. Good job. Rodney Williams, don't take it to heart. We still love you to death. You're still my neighbor, and I'm still going to pedal by your house and say, hey, Rodney, got any water? He meets me at the door with water.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you. I appreciate this.